What's happening, guys? Good morning to you. I am, as you can see, on the road this morning, so will not be a normal morning for us here on Facebook, but figured I would jump on here and chat with you guys for a couple of minutes as I'm driving through the great state of Ohio here. So, the title I put up there is Trump or Biden. Really doesn't matter. It comes down to you, right? And, as I listen to people go back and forth and I watch my Facebook feed kind of blow up this morning with everybody's opinions and everybody's thoughts on who's going to win and which way it's going to go. And some people are more concerned about it going one way or the other than other people. But here's the reality, guys. I've always said that, no matter who the president is, it is virtually irrelevant to what's going to happen in our own lives, right? What's going to happen in our own lives is mostly based on what we do ourselves. It's what we do every single day that puts us in the right position to get ahead in life. No president is going to change your position in life that significantly that it makes a difference. I'm not saying that the election doesn't matter. I'm not saying that one way is right and the other way is wrong. I'm simply saying that from your own personal experience, who becomes the president for the next 4 years? Who gets reelected or elected? It's mostly irrelevant to your life because the decisions that you make will put you in the right situations or put you in the wrong situations. And when you, sorry about that sun, guys, it is crazy bright behind me here. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't think I can, but at any rate, and listen, I see the conversations going on here. I see comments about taxes, things like that. And, we all have our opinions on that, and we all, have the ability to voice those by going and placing a vote, right? By casting our ballot, we get to voice our opinion on those taxes. For me personally, I have never, I've never voted with just my pocket. I take more than that into consideration. That doesn't mean that I lean one way or the other. But the reality of the situation is that we should all be grateful to live in a country that gives us a choice. It gives us the opportunity to go and vote and to have our voice heard. And if it doesn't go the way that you want it to go personally, the answer is to do something about it, to do something productive about it. It is not to go out and incite violence or, to do things that don't help anybody. It is to do something that makes an impact, to go help people, to go try to understand somebody that disagrees with you a little bit better, to do all of those things that put you in a better position personally. It's not to just go and act out because you didn't get what you wanted. And that goes for both sides of the equation, right? It's a difficult thing to be in such a heated situation in our country right now. But the answer, I was just listening to somebody this morning that said the answer is ballots, not bullets. And I couldn't agree more. It's not about, going out and inciting violence or, being part of all that. There's a million ways to get your voice heard. That's probably at the end of the list of what you should choose. But I want to go back to the topic of what we're talking about here, and that is, who ends up being announced as the president. I promise you this. I want you to keep this in your heart, in your mind. It will not make that big of a difference in the next 4 years of your life. It won't. What will make a difference is what you do, the actions you take every single day to make a better life for yourself, for your family, for the people around you. That is what will make a difference. It is not whose name is attached to the White House or what party is running our country for the next 4 years, what party they're attached to that's running our country for the next 4 years. That's all there is to it. And it doesn't mean that, it's not going to be more difficult in certain scenarios, one way or the other. There's a variety of different ways that I believe it will be easier and more difficult based on both parties, right? If one guy gets elected, this section of our lives will get a little bit better. If the other guy gets elected, many other sections will be better. But it won't change you personally, other than maybe where you put your attention, how you make your decisions, what you have to do. It won't change that. What you need to focus on is what you do every single day that creates the result, that creates your life. And the number one thing, I woke up this morning, I fell asleep early last night because I knew it probably wasn't going to be, there wasn't going to be anything announced. I was watching the news just like most of you probably. But I woke up this morning and the first thing that I thought was like, man, I'm so grateful to live in this country. To live in this country where we have a choice. Where we get a choice and a voice to go out and make a decision for ourselves, for our country. And whether you disagree with people or you think one guy is bad and the other one is great, whatever you think, the gift of that choice is one that you should cherish. And without that choice and without this country, where would you be? And I just want you to think about that. I want you to think about just how grateful we all should be to wake up in this country. I got to drive 5 hours this morning. I shouldn't say I have to. I get to drive 5 hours this morning to look at a big job that we're wrapping up here. And, I just thought to myself this morning, like, man, what other country in the world could a guy like me be able to do some of the things that I get to do? And the answer is not many. Good morning, Jeff Nelson. How are you, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. Good morning, Lydia. And I want you guys to think about that, man. It doesn't, just because we don't necessarily get what we want as far as, the person in office aligning with our vote, which 50% of the people always feel that way. You should still, every day for the next 4 years, regardless of whether you voted for the person that gets selected or not, wake up with a grateful heart for living in this country, because through all its troubles and through all, the times that have been difficult, this country has always found a way to right its own ship. And I hope, regardless of which way this election goes, that we are able to do that. And I think that we are all part of that solution. We're all part of the answer to that challenge. And it starts and ends with you taking care of yourself and the people around you first. When you get on an airplane and they tell you, if the cabin pressure should fluctuate, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first. That's a very important life lesson. If you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first, if you don't take care of you and your family, then you can't take care of anybody else. And so it's important for us as we go through this day, as we go through, this week and whatever happens with this election, as things shake out here, just remember, it's not about Trump or Biden as to how the next 4 years of your life will go. It has very little to do with it. It has to do with you. And what you will see is a lot of people make the excuse that things aren't good for them because the opposite person got elected, because the person that they chose isn't in office. And that makes everything more difficult. And I want you to ask yourself, when you hear people saying that, is that the truth or is that an excuse? Is that a reason why people genuinely have to not do well? And the answer is, it's probably not, right? Like, we've been through lots of presidents on both sides. And, you know, people typically go to one side or the other of politics. Some people flip back and forth, but a lot, you know, stay on the same side of politics. And so, you know, we've all lived through presidents on both sides of both parties. And I've watched people be successful through Democratic presidents, and I've watched people be successful through Republican presidents. It is our voices that make a difference. It is the conversations, leaning into the conflict, leaning into what people actually feel. Like, how do people actually feel? And there's a lot of people through this political process that I haven't necessarily, you know, agreed with or understood, but I try to listen. I try to lean in, and I try to understand where they're coming from. And if you do that and you genuinely listen, and they genuinely are open with you about how they feel, you will leave that conversation with a better understanding, and your life will be in a better place than it was when it started, when you didn't understand. And so I want you guys to understand that whether it's Trump or whether it's Joe Biden that ends up our president for the next 4 years, it is you that will make the difference. It is your decisions and what you do starting today. And that starts with not being glued to the television all day, waiting to see what happens. You will get the results. Do something productive today. Call someone, say hello to them. Ask them how they're doing, and genuinely care about the answer. And if we do that every single day, man, for a period of years and years and years, you sow a lot of seeds of love in this world. And even when the times come that people may disagree with you, they understand that your heart is in the right place, and you will live a very full life. A life full of people that, even if they disagree with you, they will love you anyway, and you will love them back. And that, friends, is the life that we're looking for. Not a life of excuses because the person that we voted for didn't get elected, and we think everything is going to go bad. You're going to have a lot of things you have to navigate through this life that aren't ones that you would choose. But God gives us those things that challenge us for a reason. And so as we navigate those, as we get stronger and we figure out how to do this thing called life a little bit better, man, life gets incredibly rewarding. So I want you guys to all, you know, experience that, to think about that today, and to really get in a place where, you know, you think to yourself, man, it doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter, because I can tell you this, whether President Trump gets reelected or Joe Biden becomes our next president, my family will be just fine. And I know that because I will make sure of it. I will spend every day of my life making sure of it, regardless of who the president is. And in the meantime, if there's something that I disagree with that either one of them do, I will try to make a difference. I'll try to make a difference with my voice, with my influence, with any way that I can. I will try to educate people. I'll lean into the conflict. I'll try to make people feel heard. Anything that I can do. Try to care for people that need it. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Just think about that. You know, think about what it takes to be successful in this life, and how you can start today by not allowing these turbulent times that we live in to dictate your life. You know, block it out. Block out the things that aren't important to you and your family, and keep your eye on the prize, right? Never been a more important time for you to do it. You know, for you to understand what's going on around you, embrace those things that make you better. You know, allow yourself to grow from the challenges, but never, ever, ever cave thinking that, you know, somebody in a political position or anybody else in this world is going to be able to change the way, where you're going in your own life. It just doesn't happen that way. It happens by your choices, by your actions, by what you're doing every day. You get the opportunity to learn from other people, right? From from the experiences that you have, from the people around you, but nobody is going to wake up and do this life for you. That's for sure. It's your job to roll up your sleeves, make sure everything in your life, your family's life, the people around you, make sure that everybody's going to be okay. You have that choice. You have that opportunity. And if you don't take it, man, there's no president that's going to come save it for you. That's for sure. That is for sure. Donald Trump's not going to save you. Joe Biden's not going to save you. Nothing's going to save you. Your actions are going to save you. And a choice to spend some quiet time getting to know yourself a little bit, getting to know your God. You let God guide you. You don't need to pay attention to who the president is. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but when it comes to your own actions, man, you have the ability of the choices that you make. And if you allow your own actions to line up with what you're trying to accomplish every single day, you let God guide your life, I promise you, you'll end up in the right place. It doesn't matter who the president is. I hope this message was helpful to you guys this morning. I'm headed to Michigan this morning. I think I'm about halfway there. So hopefully I get there safely. Hopefully there's no chaos in Michigan or anywhere that I'm traveling to today. And I will be back with you guys tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Right here, same place, same time on Morning Perspective. I appreciate you guys being here. Ryan Austin, I'll see you soon, brother. Look forward to seeing you guys. I can't see anybody's comments because I'm driving and it's glaring everywhere. But man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. And thank you. I appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.